There you
Hey,
are.
Chala, how you doing?
Welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy to see you. And if you can introduce yourself to the rest of our audience, it would be wonderful.
Sure. So I run a company out of Chester, Nova Scotia. That is a virtual performance consulting company. We've got about 70 people. Been in business for about a decade, and we do business with Cisco Systems and Dell, and we just signed VMware, and we take extended virtual teams and make them more productive. So a lot of virtual consultants are focused on personality testing and engagement. We're really focused completely 100% on making teams productive. So needless to say, we're pretty busy right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, say a few words about what's happened in the world and in your world as a result of that.
Yeah, so obviously it's you and I were discussing this back, I think, in one of our sessions back in March, and at that point, this really went into a lot of the things that happened. At that point, I was going on and on and on like a lunatic online about all these poor people had to eat lunch together on screen, and here they are. They just moved home. We've got a pandemic raving, and somebody in some corporations decided that the best way to increase engagement is to have them all on camera eating lunch or doing bar games. And I was going on and on and on because it was just driving me crazy.
Oh yeah.
And at that point, you said I should do a podcast, and I, obviously it's not my forte to do podcasting, but I called up at a publisher and I decided to put a book out. So yeah, I mean, you really started this whole big journey for us, not only through your consulting, but as a result of my lunatic raving that I was doing.
So it wasn't lunatic. It was very passionate, which is why I loved it. I loved it. You had something to say, you had an opinion, and you were like an expert. It wasn't just like your aunt, Nellie doing it. It was an expert in the field and you knew something about it. You've been in it for how many years?
We've been doing, I've been I've started telecommuting when I was 10 at my brother's desk at Stanford, and then I did my master's on telecommuting in the 90s, and I haven't worked in an office since 94. So I mean, I'm very passionate about remote work and how to be productive being a remote worker. And I've experienced every possible type of situation in global teams, and how they assume you have to be micromanaged. So yeah, I can't say that we're happy that we're in the middle of a pandemic, but it certainly has made people aware that there are alternate work styles that before would have been relegated to perhaps micromanaged lower level employees. So now everybody gets to, and some people work well at home, some people don't. But, we've obviously had a big uptick as partially because of the stuff that you did, which was continuing on during the start. And then, we're just, and we're going to, and you said, you should leverage this. You got to get out there. You got to get out there.
Wow.
Like my usual is to think about it for a year and a half and maybe we'll do it. And you said, no, get out there. So yeah, you tremendously inspirational. I think you pushed me out the door. So
what's that? What's the word for that one?
I don't know what that is. Yeah. Maybe a little kick in the pants, shall we say. Yeah, exactly.
That's wonderful. So take us back to when you first, what business problem were you trying to solve when you hired me?
Yeah, so we have been in the large tech space for years, and we've been trying to increase our sales for years and years. I thought we had a set of services that we're very good at. We'd hired a number of consultants over the years to come in and give us branding advice, and changed our name and changed our website and changed all kinds of stuff. And it just didn't work. We weren't getting any traction in the marketplace. So I think I saw you. I was awestruck, actually. I was at a conference in Detroit, I think just over 2 years ago. It was a We Connect International. And we go to these little side events, and I thought I'd sit in. And not only were you on stage speaking,
Oh, yeah.
but your client was on stage speaking, and her client that you'd helped her get was on stage speaking. I have never seen engagement like that in my life. I thought, I got to learn how to do this. I mean,
Oh,
at that point, everybody was still going to conferences, but,
yeah.
and I thought, wow, so I went away and I contacted you, and I think I thought about it for about a year and a half, which is what I
Yeah.
usually
I
do.
love that. I
Take a
love
long time to
that.
think. And then when the time was right, I said, Chella, I think it's time to get started
Yeah.
because, we tried some other things. It still wasn't working. We'll give this a shot. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was, I've never seen anybody, not only with their client, but their client's client. That's phenomenal. How do you do that? I
That's
don't,
awesome. Well, you have the results. You have the
right,
clients. All you have to do is, what you're doing now, which is like tell
right,
their stories and then have the platform to tell the stories, which is what your marketing is. One thing
right.
I love about you, Cynthia, is you once told me that money falls on me. And like,
Yeah.
honest to God, if ever there was a mindset that I wanted to duplicate, like, and just take from your, like, get a lobotomy for you and put it into my brain, I would love that. I would love that because, and it's true.
Mm,
Look at COVID, like money
I know.
falls on you, right? Like,
Mm.
who could have predicted that your niche would become not only a niche that's needed and recognized by everyone, but like that there's nobody who knows about it as much as you do. And they're saying all the wrong things. So
I,
that's why.
I, I believe they are. I really do believe they are. I mean, we've studied it and studied it and studied it. And I mean, we've run circles around most of the other consultants. We had a strategy we're going to start, but again, yeah, and yeah, it's really obviously great timing for us. And as a result of got the first book here,
Yay.
which
Oh,
is
wait,
going.
hold it up.
Okay, there you
Read
go.
the title.
Obviously, I'm not an online
Yeah.
marketer yet, but there you
Read the
go.
title. It's hilarious. How to work
Yeah.
from home and
And it's
actually
really,
get
if you
stuff
follow
done.
this, you'll be really a much more productive managing teams, managing meetings, managing offsites and things like that. But this is really a first step because we were, as a result of this, I decided to kind of in a roundabout way, we have now signed a deal with Forbes
Yeah.
and we'll be going on the Forbes platform next year. So you think that, a book on Amazon is a big deal. Well, going on the Forbes platform with 91 million viewers is an entirely different ball of wax.
You're
So
stepping out all the way.
we are,
I
we're
love
going for like a tricycle to a full on Ferrari sports car in a year. And I keep saying,
I
so
love it. So, I mean, what shifted as a result of our work together that has allowed you to do this?
well, I think that, I think the main thing is we stopped talking about services and we started talking about solutions. We started talking about me, and we started really talking much more about business needs. I think the process you took us through, it's not an easy process. You've got to reach out to people and do it. But, you really push us and you push us and you push us. And I think people, in order to step out of their comfort zone, need that. And I don't think there's a lot of consultants I've worked with. Most of them will just say, here, you do it, and they never check back, right? So we really now have a set of solutions that talk to business needs, and we created a new brand that's consistent with these solutions. So Virtira is launched as of 2 or 3 months ago, which was a previous name, and we took it from very non-specific to targeted. And really, we had to do a lot of outreach, which has now gotten more referrals. Even in our major client, they're referring us. I think our client referred us to Morgan Stanley. They referred us to New
Ooh,
York Stock Exchange.
nice.
We just got a referral to a huge set of universities in the United States.
Wow.
And you really pushed me to you pushed me to do a podcast, but because I'm an introvert, I decided to do a book. And it's really been a transformational experience. And I don't think if we hadn't been working with you, I'm not sure we would have. I don't think I'd be out here with a book or with a Forbes deal. Did you give us a Forbes deal? No, but I think you were the impetus that did that. And you just don't back down, right? When you have that meeting with Shally, you better have had your homework done.
I love it.
So
Honestly,
yeah.
you were a formidable, like, I'm not going to say opponent because you're my client and I love you, but you guys stood up to me. Like, you
Oh,
guys were not easy. I mean, you are not easy at all. But
yeah.
what you kept saying to me was, let me digest it.
Mm-hmm.
You kept saying, let me digest it, let me digest it. And I always had the hope that you would digest it. And all of a sudden, we don't speak for a couple of months, and you're like, I got a book and I'm doing a podcast and I've hired podcast agents and I'm doing Forbes and I'm going to be out and I'm speaking and I'm doing this. So I was like, whoa, I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been exciting, you know, and again, it's a big step up for me. You know how introverted I am, right? You know how I don't want to be out there. So
yeah, you
yeah,
resist, but
yeah,
kudos to you for stepping out, because I know it's scary and you are not in the financial position to have to do it. Like
yeah,
money falls on you.
Yeah,
You don't
it
have to do
does.
it. But what
Yeah,
I love about you is that you constantly push yourself too, which is why you hire people who tell you, you know, who push.
right. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, what else are you going to do in the middle of having to be quarantined and sitting in your house for 1.5 to 2 years? I mean, you might as well do a book deal, right? You might as well go out there and get on platform. I don't have to travel to conferences. I'm super excited
Yeah,
about that.
I
So,
know. That's
yeah.
amazing. I know. That's so great. So, what advice do you have for people who are maybe struggling with COVID and financials, and they're unsure if this is the right thing for them to do, is to invest in the kind of help that I give them? What advice do you have?
You know, I think it's a great opportunity right now to retool your business. You know, I think a lot of the traditional forms of marketing that you might have previously enjoyed are no longer available. I think I'm not going to go through them all, but inbound calling, outbound email. I mean, I really think you need to have a very specific message and a very specific niche that you're targeting right now. And you know, if you've got the ability, if you have the funds, and I think this is the time to do it. After COVID, you know, heaven knows you're probably going to get busy doing other things. Why not take the time right now and get your business on track and start the process so that when things are lighten up a bit or get a little better, and it could be as soon as 8 or 9 months from now, why not do it now? You know, I think that you know, I think I'm in a perfect example of you know, we were going through a lot of stuff, but I still brought you on, right? And there was a lot of work. But
It's
and
true.
again, it was not an instant overnight process, but you can see results. I mean, what you teach us is there's so much. I think I talked to you about this when we discussed this before this event. Some of the the takeaways that are still kind of funneling around inside my brain. So
Great.
I don't know why, you know, if you're going, I think now is the time to invest for the future. I really do. And that's what this whole thing and it's an investment for me. It's a conscious decision to invest.
That's
So
great. Yeah. And
yeah.
I have done the same, and I totally agree with you. And
Hmm.
thank you so much for being here. We look forward to seeing your podcast, your Forbes interviews, everything. And how could people reach you if they wanted to?
Well, they can reach out at through our website virtira.com. They can do Spraggs. Oh, my name's really hard to spell. It's easier to do. Just go to our website and fill out the contact form. And yeah, and please buy the book. It's on Amazon. Pre-orders October 13th, and you'll see a lot. We've got a big social media and print publicity campaign along with it. So yeah, there you go.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Chala.
Take care. Thank you so much.